On tonight, I want to revisit John chapter 16 and verse 33, which was a verse that was considered in our study on last evening. In particular, I want us to look at not only what we're supposed to do, but how to do it. So often in our preaching and teaching, we give encouragement on what to do, but people need steps and practical understanding and how to do those things. The Bible tells us, again, to be of good cheer. That sounds great. All of us would like good cheer. But how do we experience this boldness, this courage, this confidence that is spoken of in John chapter 16 and verse 33? I am of the mindset that it is important that we determine not only how to pour into our cups, so to speak, but also how to understand perhaps where we have leaks. If, for example, you were losing air on a tire, it doesn't matter how much air you put in there. If you don't address the leak, you will find that it is an exercise in futility. Home efficiency experts come in and through a series of tests and procedures can help to determine where we're losing energy and perhaps wasting money. Maybe it's windows that need replacing. Maybe it's an old inefficient HVAC system or inefficient appliances. But again, the analogy proves true that knowing where we are losing is as important as supplying that which is needed. So as we think about this verse, John 16:33, that says, "Be of good cheer," we need to understand why it is that we sometimes are not bold and courageous and as confident as we should be. We must recognize that we deal with invisible wounds. That is, sometimes we are dealing with things that are not as obvious because you can't necessarily see them, but they are nonetheless realities affecting our lives. Those are the hurts that we have that are real and that are unseen. If you really want to know who a person is, when they are alone in the dark or when they're held up to the light, the real person is revealed. The one person we can never run from is self. Many people have invisible wounds. For example, some people are struggling with loneliness. And loneliness is not a matter of your marital status, because there are some people who are married, some people who have lots of friends that suffer from loneliness, that feeling that no one understands or no one cares. Sometimes we are losing our cheer because of fear. Fear comes in those instances in life where we have not developed the courage or we've lost the courage, perhaps because of some past experience that causes us to experience fear moving forward. Sometimes we lose our cheer because of guilt. We've made bad choices, bad decisions, have stepped in the wrong direction, and things, because of our fault, causes us to feel an overwhelming sense of guilt. Sometimes people are embarrassed. We are embarrassed to admit our problems. We go out of our way to hide our reality, and we smile when on the inside we're not smiling, but are in fact hurting. Sometimes we are embarrassed because we don't want to feel that people are going to talk about us or that people are going to not respect our choices. At other times we can have an invisible wound because of betrayal. You know what it's like to have put your trust in someone only to be let down. And that betrayal can cause you to isolate yourself and treat everybody else as if they are suspect. An invisible wound can come from low self-esteem. Having been beat up by life and beat down by people, the way you see yourself is not always in the greatest of lights. There are times that an invisible wound can just be emotional exhaustion. You just get tired of trying. You get tired of fighting. You get tired of being defeated. You just become emotionally exhausted. Again, there are many types of invisible wounds. Unfortunately, the way people have a tendency to respond or to cope is some are simply in denial. They will not face their truth if you paid them. Others try to compensate by making what's good in their life so good that they hope it will overshadow the bad. There are individuals who are hiding. They're hiding from friends and family, hiding not necessarily because you don't see them, but they go out of their way to mask the pain in their lives. You see them, but you don't see what they're really dealing with because they have become experts at hiding things. Other people fall into the category of acceptance. They just accept mediocre things and mediocre outcomes, and they usually say things like, "It is what it is. Life ain't fair," or "This is the hand that has been dealt to me." Then you have people who try to redefine reality in hopes of making it socially acceptable to other people. I know it's wrong, but, well, at least I'm not. Well, it's none of your business. Things of that nature. In order for us to deal with these leaks, so to speak, in our tank of courage and boldness and confidence, there are some simple things that we can do. Number one, each of us must face our truth. Whatever the reality of your life is, hiding, ignoring, denying, compensating, whatever those ineffective coping mechanisms are, will never help you to be of good cheer. Face your truth. Your life, your reality, you have to face it head on. Second, direct your prayer life and study life to those areas that are relevant to you. Oftentimes, in directing our prayers, we think about the things we want: a bigger house, a better car, more money. But have we ever spent time in prayer asking God to heal our heart and help us to recover from mental and emotional wounds and to get over the scars of life's battles? And then Bible study can be exciting when you start studying topically. In other words, focusing on those areas that deal with your reality. As much as preachers try, we can never preach a sermon or teach a class that at every time is going to meet every person. But in your personal study, you can find those things that are relevant to who you are and where you are. Third, align with spiritual people. I find so often that a tragedy that people experience is they tend to hang around people who are struggling and suffering the same way they are. Aligning with spiritual people coincides with a thought from Proverbs 27:17, and that is, iron sharpens iron. You can never be sharp hanging around dull people. Number 4, take steps and do the work. Your boldness, your courage, and your confidence will never be what you need it to be if you don't do the work that you need to do on you. Don't worry about fixing other people. If you spend half of your time staying out of other people's business and the other half of your time fixing your business, you might just be a more cheerful person. This has been another installment of A Few Minutes with the Minister.